Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kenyans are still reeling from the shock of the menace that was almost caused by the Worldcoin drama. And this thing has really exposed the Kenyan government. The Worldcoin is a tech firm that has been going on around the world collecting biometric data, and in turn, people who avail themselves for such exercises are given some crypto token. Like in Kenya, those who went there were being given some crypto token worth 7,000 Kenya shillings. People are really asking, what is this? Because what I saw is that this is a kind of biometric data collection in a digital way, and it involves your iris in the eyes being scanned, and I'm told that they use a tool called ORB. I'm not an IT, but they say the ORB. So yesterday, after exposing the Kenyan government, where two government officials released contradictory statements on the same issue, the ICT Cabinet Secretary Ludowalo and the Interior Minister Kindiki. But now, after the suspension of the exercise, because Kindiki later, after Owalo had confirmed that the Worldcoin had not breached any data regulations, Kindiki deferred and they suspended the operations. But the owner of the Worldcoin has responded, and of course the tone of his message is reconciliatory. He apologized, and he expects or anticipates that the exercise will resume after they have some meetings with the Kenyan authority. He took to his X, is it now the Twitter handle or the X handle, and said that Tools for Humanity has paused world ID verification in Kenya as we continue to work with local regulators to address their questions. We apologize to everyone in Kenya for the delay. That is what the owner is called Alex Bania. If you go to his Twitter handle, you'll find him there. But one thing that people are still questioning is just how careless, for lack of a better term, we can be. And I call it careless because later I was trying to look at the loopholes that were left before the suspension of the exercise, and I realized that sometimes we need to be more cautious. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time. Click the notification bell and like our videos. Now, I want us to look at the statement of Kindiki, and you will realize just how we left some loopholes within. Now, Kithure was saying that relevant security, financial services and data protection agencies have commenced inquiries and investigations to establish the authenticity and legality of the aforesaid activities, the safety and protection of the data being harvested, and how the harvesters intend to use the data. That was Kindiki. Now, if you look at Kindiki's statement alone, you will realize that there are few things that we left, and this is just how the government has been exposed. Number one, we are dealing with a reactive government instead of being proactive. William Ruto's government needs to be on top of affairs. To run the affairs of a country needs that you are on top of things. Even before we allowed the Worldcoin to begin their activities in Kenya, in his own word, the security agencies, financial agencies, and data protection unit or agencies should have sat down in a meeting with these people to understand and establish, number one, the authenticity and the legality of what they are carrying out. Because this involves data. You see, now they are trying to investigate what if they find that there was some regulation that had been breached, or if this was a risky affair that they were undertaking. It involves the use of the iris, body parts that can be damaged. So they should have ensured that they sat down and have a meeting to establish the legality and the authenticity. Now, they are now reactive. Next time when such a thing happens, they should sit down and was there any breach of regulation, and what do they want to do with the data that they are collecting. I'm saying this because recently we had government systems installed, government systems that were stalled after they were hacked by a group that took the bragging right from Sudan, and they were like reacting after William Ruto had indicated that they wanted to become a neutral arbiter to negotiate between the warring parties. And this is the reason why we are very careful about any kind of data collection, because it could also lead to systems, stalling, just the way that happened. And I'm telling you, I want to submit to you that the government slept on the job. Well, it's better late than never. They suspended the exercise, and we believe that they are going to get to the rock bottom of this thing, because the owner of the Bitcoin had explained that he is hopeful that he will resume services. Number two, we realize that we are dealing with a government that is uncoordinated, because for Kithure Kindiki and Eliud Owalo to give us contradictory statements on a very weighty issue such as this only means that I must say that they are joking. We want a government that's above board. We don't want mediocrity. William Ruto must call his cabinet to order, so that before they release any statement, let them sit down. For example, Kithure Kindiki should have contacted, or Owal should have contacted Kithure Kindiki just a phone call away, and they have a position on this. Because we find it very difficult to believe that there is peace and harmony. There is lack of harmony within the cabinet. And you see, when there is lack of harmony, we are worried because we don't know who to believe. So we don't want to see this kind of statements that are being thrown here and there. We are still reeling from the shock of Nakumincha, the cabinet secretary in the Ministry of Health, issuing directives to transfer a police officer, something that has been really condemned. We've not forgotten William Ruto telling us that his cabinet is inept and incompetent, saying that whenever he questions something in their docket, they fumble and they cannot explain. And we also understand that just recently, during the signing of a performance contract, some of the government officials came late. And when people tried to justify why Kithure Kindiki might have come late, because on that day, I think there was some Al-Shabaab invaded Kenyans in Lamu, Garsen somewhere. And they were saying that Kithure Kindiki had to rush there to arrest the situation before he came to the signing of the performance contract, and that is why he was late. And Kenyans were asking, why couldn't he just pick a call and tell his boss that I'm going to be late? So communication is a problem within the Kenya Kwanza team. And this is how the government has been exposed, because they talk too much, they politic too much, yet when it comes to serious business, you realize that there are a lot of loopholes. I hope that next time they should sit down and seal these loopholes. We don't want a situation where Kenyans don't have faith in this government. So Mr. Alex is expressing a lot of hope and optimism that they are going to resume their exercise in Kenya. The third and the last thing that I want us to talk about is that when the government sits down in a meeting with the Worldcoin guys, they should also look at crowd control. The mess that I saw when people are struggling, because when they, we are really suffering, people don't have money. When they realize that there is some money that is being given freely, Kenyans will run there, because hata mimi ningeenda nikipata fursa. But crowd control is very important. We might run there going to get 7,000 Kenya shillings, then people end up dying in the process. Commotion and fracas there. So the government must also look at crowd control, even if that company will pay our authorities, so that we know how to organize security for them, so that we have things done in an orderly manner. I think if we establish that Worldcoin has got no problem, they have not breached any data regulation, then it must go on in a proper way, in a smooth way, but the government must not allow itself to be exposed like it did.